Welcome to Cardano Over Coffee with your host, Lido Nation, Jenny from the Blockchain, co-host, CookThyme, BlockJock, TCT, Epoch Pool, and Hero Pool. On today's show, we have Hyena Motorcycle Club, which is a play-to-earn NFT collection, and then Ada Resolver, who are trying to provide utilities and unify all your information into a single domain within the blockchain. Take a listen as we talk Cardano and crypto.
Yeah. Oh, Hero just got it. Did he just get it just now while he was in a space?
I think Hero been in here.
No, did he just get the
for
check mark?
a little bit now.
Okay.
He's had it for a little bit now. Yeah.
The check
Yeah,
mark.
shout out to all the paying checkmark verified people with iPhones.
Official
Hello.
people. Right.
Yo, I didn't pay for Twitter Blue the first time to get the hexagon. I'm not paying for it now.
I mean, I have it, but I don't have a checkmark because I don't have an iPhone. So.
Somebody sent Jenny an iPhone.
The regular Twitter Blue is not gonna cut it, Jenny. You have to upgrade to the check mark Twitter
They
Blue.
don't let you. They don't let you if you don't have an iPhone. So you can't.
Right.
So right now I still have the whatever's left before they kick me out of my Twitter Blue. So.
There's two.
Isn't that crazy how they just decide? Yeah, only.
What's
iPhone
the
people.
first tier of Twitter Blue?
I mean, it has some functions. Like I see less bots, and then I see like I get to do the thread reader, which is pretty cool. And I mean,
I love my Twitter Blue subscription and the almost little to no ads.
I mean, it has ads, but it's just like that one ad, right? I guess
it's not as annoying. Yeah, whenever I switch to my non-paid account, it's the ads is very noticeable.
But it sucks that they don't even let you have that now. So if you don't have an iPhone, I'm gonna lose all that. I'm gonna have no option to get like this anymore, which just sucks.
Wait, what? They're taking away the old Twitter Blue?
Yeah, like you can only sign up if you have an iPhone, and the other ones, if you're like on web or Android.
Wait, so they're taking up the old $4 plan?
Yeah, they're taking it out. Gone. Wow. Like we're gonna lose it. Yeah. Until they decide to bring it to Android again.
That is stupid.
I know. Well, we're gonna be forced to do.
Well,
to get all
people are already paying $4. So you're saying give us $7 or give us $0?
Exactly. It's so stupid, right? And it's this whole like forcing like an operating system when it clearly works without it.
Give us $0.
Look at Big Joe's verified.
Wow.
Big Joe, look at that thirsty mofo.
Jumped on that bandwagon immediately. Look at you, Joe. Where'd it go?
You guys are rich. I'm too poor to be doing this.
It's $8. And you know the easy part about it is like just a double click on my phone.
Somebody needs to just like build a bot army and just like sacrifice 100,000 and like impersonate like 500 people or something like that.
Oh, maybe I can like use my son's iPhone, log in there, and upgrade my account. Would that work?
There we go.
Though,
then your son will be like, "Hey,
can buy you.
My girlfriend's trying to call me. Can I talk to her now?"
You can get 7 McChickens for a fucking blue check on Twitter.
Wait, McChickens? Is there a whole chicken at McDonald's now? I didn't know you could get a whole chicken at McDonald's now.
It's a cock.
That's crazy.
It's a coxy.
Bro, 7 McChickens. You're going to be eating good like a king for a week. Or you get a Twitter check mark.
Just cancel your Netflix. They'll pay the $8.
Bro, I'm already on my Netflix with my ex-girlfriend, bro. Like, she hasn't logged me out yet.
Oh, you know that's changing too. Netflix is taking away the sharing thing. Now you're going to have to pay like extra per account. Yeah. Yeah.
I have like myself, my sister, I think 2 nephews, a niece, all on the same. Oh my god.
Neighbor.
Great. Yeah, the neighbor. But I don't know the neighbor. Oh, that's weird, Joe. How did you know the neighbor's on there? God.
Oh, the scary movie section that they like.
Honestly, like I get Amazon Video for free with my cell phone service. So if Netflix wants to kick me off, they can kiss my ass. I'm not updated.
And Joe, thank you for making me realize just how worthless the Twitter check mark is compared to Netflix, which is the same price. That's hilarious.
Too funny. 209.
I will take my ass to Reddit and download every movie I want to see. Don't play.
LimeWire.
Everybody's on vacation today, man. Veterans Day. So,
Veterans Day.
yeah, I want to put out shout out to all the veterans, both active and retired, including those who are not with us anymore, and to just say thank you for your time and your service and your dedication to protecting this country and making it what it is. Without you guys, we wouldn't be where we are today and enjoying the freedoms that we have. So thank you very much.
Yo, it's Veterans Day, not Memorial Day. We didn't need a moment of silence.
We
There's
didn't.
there's a lot of veterans. There's a lot of veterans in Cardano, though. Have you noticed that? Like Jarhead and Jason Matias and his girl. Like, there's a lot of them.
Shout out my boy DA Sales. Shout out to Reddick. Who else? You already shouted out Jarhead. I can't think of nobody else, but Hero Pool, you're a hero, so I'm gonna still shout out to you, even though you're not a veteran in that. You're a veteran in the game of saving people's ass from burning. So
there's that.
So what's on the crypto news today?
Solana potentially having some issues with how they were leveraging or what they were leveraging and why and should be interesting. I got the popcorn out waiting for the next shoe to drop, so we shall see.
Have you guys heard about what happened with the Solana Stoners Club?
Did they over leverage their assets and now it's being liquidated? What's going on over there, Joe? Come on, man. Give us the lowdown.
Yeah. I don't think it's.
or the Stoners Club. I think you need to go check that out.
I don't think it's.
Don't you run it, Mixie? I thought you ran that.
No, he's just fucking with me.
I know. I remember where it comes from, but just saying. I thought
Did you over
ran it.
Did you over leverage the McChickens? Dude, come on, man.
No, the only thing
One
I
too many
actually
McChickens.
Look, bro, McChickens aren't good enough. You got to eat kosher. Like, I only over leverage Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches.
Got it, because they're closed on Sunday. That makes sense. I like Popeyes the best. Are they kosher? I'm not sure.
Oh my gosh, no, they're not. What the fuck? Why would you say that?
Popeyes is the best.
Oh my god, bro! Like, I like the spicy chicken sandwich from Chick-fil-A. It is still the king. Everyone else just fighting for second place.
Do you guys think a lot of people, like a lot of this, like smaller exchanges are going to crash due to this? I mean, if there's a time to remind people to get their money out of exchanges, this is definitely the time to do it, because I've been reading a lot of crazy stuff about what.
You know what kind of exchanges they are? They're sex exchange.
I know. What's the name? KuCoin supposedly
centralized exchange.
CEX.
So that's what I'm saying. Not SEX, of course, but the CEX. And yeah, they could be over leveraged as well, and there could be a couple that'll drop off here due to the fact that they were.
Well, the irony with all of this, right? Crypto is supposed to bring like transparency, and you're supposed to know what's going on, and then you hit these exchanges, right? And it's the exact same thing as the non-crypto finance, and the everybody leveraging everybody else, and everybody borrowing from everybody in the back end, and all that nonsense. And apparently, Alameda was making 10% on the entire crypto markets, exchange markets. Much of this year, even last year too, right? Because they had all these trading pairs on all of these different exchanges, which is wild. But then, we dug on centralized exchanges, but when you come to the DEXs stuff, you run into a whole different other issues, right? So you don't have the back dealing as much. You don't have the weird liquidity leveraging happening. But then you run into freaking spam and people stealing money, and you lose almost the same amount of money you lose in the centralized exchange, except instead of losing it to scumbags, you lose it to thieves, right? So, so what do we go from here?
Well, I'll
It's
tell
kind of
you.
That's our choices. That's our choices. Scumbags and thieves.
I know, right? It feels great.
For the moment, go to Coinbase. I'll say that much. All this weird shit going on. My baby, my true real life baby KuCoin, they trying to destroy her. That was definitely all the
Trying to, well, they destroy themselves though, Mix. If they go under, they destroyed themselves because they did not have enough liquidity to cover when things come calling, right? So, and the reason is because, you know, and I hate to say it, you know, there's a form that each company has to file every year called a 10K. And it's one of those things where it's required by the SEC, you know, to show where they're at. They're following regulations, all the guidelines, everything's put out in front of them. And I get it. Nobody likes, you know, government, but they do have some good functions that, you know, keep people in check because, you know, those who are in financial markets, greed begets greed and they just don't know anything else. And they get into a bubble like we do here. The next thing you know, they forget that they're actually using other people's money to make them money. And when they make a bad bet, the only people that lose really are those that they're using their money, you know, those end users, you know. So some regulation needs to happen there for sure.
Exactly.
What regulation they have KuCoin when KuCoin is not an American exchange?
I think even
Which makes it
BlockFi
worse.
it's not paying out. BlockFi froze their withdrawals, which is what I mean. Like all this lending, I go back to what I was saying yesterday. This reminds me exactly of what happened with the housing. You know,
Big time.
it's
Same
the
thing.
same thing. It's the same
Yeah.
exact thing.
Does everybody remember like AIG was brought into they were one of the largest holders of those derivatives. And you're like, wait, isn't AIG an insurance company? You know what I mean? They weren't even a brokerage house. And next thing you know, they had to be saved by us, an insurance company. And I don't think the rates went down after they got saved. You know, like I think they went up actually. So what the fuck are we doing there? You know, with that.
Well,
So
the
it's
difference
happening
is
again.
then who's gonna get saved now? Nobody's gonna get saved.
Nobody.
But
Nobody's
isn't
saving crypto at
Coinbase
all.
like the best option right now with all of this stuff because they're already
They're SEC regulated. Yeah, so the only one. That's the only one I use
opinions have? It's
to
like
buy my stuff,
a
and then send it
insured
into
amount.
Cardano, which is
Yeah, but does Coinbase, how much of SEC regulation covers disclosures, right? Like, is Coinbase disclosing some of the other things that if we knew, we would feel differently about their health?
But don't they have to because they're a publicly traded company?
yeah. Like I said, it's called a 10K, and if you just look it up. It's a snapshot or picture of everything that the company has: assets, revenues, liabilities, everything. And then it's for the previous year, obviously. So they're 365 days behind, but at least it's giving you a picture of, you know. And there are quarterly reports that they're going to give to their shareholders, which they have a shareholder meeting, you know. So
Am I working right now?
there are some checks and balances. I can hear you.
Neat.
Hi, Sunny. Good morning.
GM. Yeah, I was actually coming up to say the exact same thing that Mix and BlockJock just covered. So, GM.
Good morning, pal. How's it going, man?
GM.
Oh, it's a beautiful day in California, as you know, sir.
If I hear
It
one
is.
more
It
thing about
absolutely
California, if I hear
It's a
one more
chilly
thing about
61
California,
degrees.
I promise you, bro, I'm finna walk outside and I'm finna do the
You
rain.
know, next time I'm in Atlanta, we're kicking it, Mixie. Like that's happening.
We're going to twerk chicken, bro. I'm telling you.
I've done all the boring like touristy shit. I need to go like where we need to go. So twerk chicken, whatever else you got, dude. I'm down.
Yo, on the right day, you might just actually get some twerk. So I was on their, I was on their Instagram, and the funniest thing is like it was just some random white dude that was there, and then all the girls was just dancing on him. Like it's like while he was trying to get his order. Like I don't know if it was a setup. I don't know if it just happened, but that shit's hilarious. Like
It was probably BlockJock drunk.
So wait, no, that's never happened to me, but it sounds amazing. So that is a group twerk of women just surrounded a guy like while he was making an order on something and started twerking on him.
no, you should have seen the opening day. Like on the opening day, like they literally had a stripper dancing on the sign, and like it's on Front Street. So like when you're driving down the street, like you see this girl just randomly twerking, like on the sign of twerk.
Only in Atlanta, I swear. You're not going to see that out here in California, I don't think. Besides watching white girls twerk, depends on the white girl. Jenny's excluded. You know, some of them.
I know. I ain't gonna lie to you. I just seen some white girls that came to work. They be trying to make
No, they
stuff.
can. I'm just saying, you know there's a difference. I'm just gonna put it there. Hey, so HHMC Hyena Motorcycle Club. If you are in the audience, unless you've already come up, which I do not see, you are first up, and we're getting close here to the 7 o'clock hour. For
trying to reset the room,
guest.
BlockJock. Do you want to do a little mid-roll?
Yeah, a little reset. Well, just I don't know if we're resetting. Yeah, I guess we are. Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, me? No.
You're listening to Cardano Over Coffee. We are here
Thank
Monday through Friday, 2:30 p.m. UTC for 2 hours. We typically have 2 guests scheduled for 25 minutes each. If you are interested in being a guest, hit the PSP. Check out the link tree. There is a link to the Calendly to pick a spot on Monday. Did we say we're doing something special on Monday, or is it a true banter day?
Believe it's true banner, unless you got something catalyst.
Yeah, I kind of fought for true banter, and I think that we forgot to like really schedule that thing later.
Okay, so and you're not saying a thing, so it doesn't become a thing, huh?
You got to be careful. It might shift.
This is a Schrodinger's cat moment here. If she doesn't say it, it's not a thing. Right. So on Mondays we don't have guests. We just have open discussion, banter, convo. It's a great time if you're new to Cardano or the blockchain to bring all your 500 questions. There's typically at least 2 knowledgeable people in the room to give you their love bases.
2.5.
Yeah. 2.5. With that, we are at the top of the hour. So HHMC, if you are from that crew or if you are that PFP, get your booty up here.
And happy Veterans Day. Thanks for your service to anyone in the audience. Definitely get a pat on the back and some love from us.
Is your guys' guest today?
Part of that group.
Is your guys' guest today the Hyena biker gang Grand Theft Auto looking thing?
Hey, not biker gang, man. Don't ever say that in front of a motorcycle club. Doesn't matter who it is, Hells Angels or any of the other ones. Always say motorcycle club. There might be trouble.
Unless you want to get killed.
Right.
I don't know. I've done time with most of them. They're pretty cool with it.
They are, but I have a buddy of mine who is part of a motorcycle club. I'm using my fingers, and I was in front of them, and one was the president. And I said, "So how's that motorcycle gang going?" You know, and I've known him for 20 years, and they all gave me a weird look for about 5 seconds. And then one of them said, "Club, bro, club."
Yeah, the feds are on them.
Yeah, that's why.
Even the ones that consider themselves 1%ers are like, nah, we're a club, bro. The feds could be listening.
Well, we're actually low-key straight now because Shirley Lowe got knocked off, so we ain't got to worry about feds right now.
Well, yeah, it's the thing though. Shirley Lowe is gonna come back with a vengeance, and she's gonna come back as one of you verified mofos, okay? Like she's gonna come back as
her name to
BlockJock,
Shirley Ho, though.
Cinnamon Bun,
No.
Subcritical, New Age, Riley. Can you imagine Riley in a space like being Shirley Lowe, but like Riley? And people talking about shit about someone and he can't say anything because he's not really Riley. That would be funny.
I saw Linda with Hossie ears, so there's that. I mean, stranger things have happened, Lido. Come on.
Stranger things have and will continue to happen. Well, we don't have our guests up here. I know they're on a very different time zone than us, American folks, I
And
think.
on a motorcycle, sometimes it's tough to get here. It's cold right now and windy and rainy. So if you're on a motorcycle,
It's
it might
snowing
take
in
them
some parts
a
of
few
the
extra minutes.
world,
Sure.
you know.
It's super
Well,
difficult.
they're in hell,
to
right?
get to there.
So
Oh, they
don't
are.
have to worry
Oh,
about
there's that too.
There could have been
Did I-
trouble.
Oh, also, since we're on the imagery or whatever that is, they also don't have they don't have opposable thumbs. So imagine riding a
Oh,
bike.
jeez. Yeah, come on. Are you kidding me? That's super tough. Yeah. A quad, especially with the thumb throttle, forget it. That'd be hard.
Well,
funny
I
as
mean,
shit.
we can
They
talk
are in
about
hell.
whatever we want. Whatever we want, since our guest is in here, unless our other guest is here and they just want to roll into it right now. Is it a resolver around? Not yet.
Not
Great.
seeing him in the crowd
So
yet.
is that like a handle resolver? Or do you guys have any like details on that? Because I know
Yeah, I think it's
DZ
kind of
just
like an
released a tool.
ADA, like a ADA domain type of thing. ADA
Right.
handle.
Well, in software and like the world of the internet, a resolver, what it does, instead of returning the thing you're so when you go to ADA handle and you ask for something, it gives you the thing you're looking for. It gives you the address, right? The resolver doesn't give you the thing it's looking for. It tells you who has that information, right? It points you to this thing called a name server. Um, so then you go to that name server that has that information to get the exact thing you're looking for. And the beautiful thing about that, you can put multiple things behind your resolver, right? So instead of just having one thing that can be returned, you could put 10 things, 15 things. And the people that's directing the traffic, they just look for the end of your resolver to say if it ends with this, what we know who to go ask for the actual thing. So that's what resolver means. If that's how they're using it, then great.
It looks like that's how they're using it. And there's quite a few. If you go to adaresolver.io, that will give you a link into their paper and everything that they're doing there. But it's actually, it requires a little bit of reading, but it looks pretty.
A little bit of
pretty
reading. That thing was like 2 paragraphs long. I was very disappointed that it was called a white paper. When I was like,
That's why I said a little.
I mean, they have a whole little wiki there, but I mean, there wasn't much information about the tech side.
yeah, and the little wiki is just a 1-page scrolly jumpy thing that has like
yeah, I mean,
10
it talks about
sentences on
like
there.
legendary and all that stuff, and what you can vote with your resolver. It talks
Scroll
about all
down at
that
the bottom,
stuff.
and you will
Yeah.
see some documentation.
Which, by the way, it says that it's like it doesn't matter how many resolve you can use them for voting. And there's a part there that was a little. I guess I'll ask them, but it says that it doesn't go by like whatever resolver you have, whether it's legendary or whatever, gives you so many points for voting, but it doesn't add up. If you have 20 resolvers, you only whatever is the most it's your voting power. So it goes by wallet. So I don't know why they went that way. I guess you can
What
like
are we governing?
split up all your resolvers in different wallets and vote with different wallets, right? I mean,
What are we governing though?
yeah.
I was gonna ask the same
It's
question.
supposed to.
Yo, I see
Okay,
the
I don't want to
hyenas.
sound like we're making fun of the product. Yeah, I know
I see
it's
the
not.
hyenas down there. The motorcycle club.
You see the hyenas? Oh.
How does the hyena sound?
Yep.
Who can make a hyena sound?
Only during sex.
I sent him an invite to speak. Oh boy.
I think they laugh, right? They make like a laughing sound.
Yeah, they do,
Cackle.
right?
A cackle.
I think this is when Hero would jump in and go, Epoch, save me.
Well, share out the space. The hyena made it. Even with not having an opposable thumb, even with the snow and the rain and being in hell. I don't know how it rains in hell,
Yeah.
but
Welcome from hell. We appreciate you being here.
what's up, my good person? Or a creature, I guess. How are you?
Hi guys. Apologies for my tardiness. It's just been a little hectic. This is the peak of the time for us. It's just doing 10 different things at the same time. So I see lots of blue ticks. So you all managed to grab them, on time, because I was listening on the radio that they've canceled the $8 subscription.
I think we're grandfathered in now.
Excellent. Look at that. So many ticks. So we missed the opportunity. Not a
Nah, you're
problem.
fine.
That's absolutely fine. So, is it time for us to speak, or is it we
Yes,
chatting,
yes.
guys?
We're about 7 minutes in, but we can sort of go through it.
Yeah.
Just give a brief introduction to who you are,
Yeah.
and then get into it.
So I recognize the voice. Is that Lido Nation?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I thought.
C'est moi.
Yeah.
I'm living in a coffee cup today.
Hiding behind Cardano Over Coffee. Just a quick rundown, as some of the attendants and listeners know, we've been quite a regular on Cardano Over Coffee. So we recently launched our beta game, and we're part of Genius X ISPO, which is still ongoing. If anyone missed, 5 excellent projects participating, one of which is ourselves. And just today, just wanted to tell a bit more about upcoming events that we have. So we have, if anyone tried, the game is live beta, but it had some issues, and we literally this week resolved and updating the website with the latest version of beta v2, which is going to be a big difference in terms of content, similar to GTA, different actors included in the game. So hopefully this should be live sometime over the weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday. So, and if anyone know that we have some small amount of NFTs as well on JPEG Store, and the game itself is free to play, so you don't need anything. All you need is just one of the browser Cardano wallets, and preferably and recommended ones are Nami and or Eternal. So they both work fine. So, and all you need, obviously, if you want to switch on the play to earn mode, then you would need one of the NFTs, but otherwise it's just free to play to anyone.
Hero said he enjoyed the game, by the way. He can't comment right now, but he wanted us to let you know.
Who was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Hero.
Hero. Oh yeah, excellent. He was saying that he was gonna play, but I thought he's been nice. But
no, he said he liked it. That he played it, he liked it, and he looks forward to more updates.
Yeah,
excellent.
Have you added the NPC or?
Well, what do you mean the NPC?
Non-player characters.
Well, I mean, yes. The biggest problem we had with the previous beta version was the lag and latency, because of it's just the technical issues we have had and we couldn't resolve on time. So the game was playable and still playable, but there is a big FPS drop down due to the settings. So it has to be put on low. But with the new upgrade, so you don't need that. You can play even at ultra high. So we've tested. It's all fine. The map is now bigger, more characters, besides obviously the usual suspects of hyenas and coyotes to biker gangs. So there are more actors in the game, just to make it a bit more fun. And the spawn points are more. Capture opponent. The points are more. So we're trying to keep it updated every month or two, so that it's fun for people to check, and not to have the same thing over and over.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. I was watching the promo video. I'm actually going to pin it to the top here in a minute. But it looks really cool. And Lido, actually, the hyenas do have opposable thumbs, so they can ride in the normal manner. So they have effectively changed that. So.
Yes. I was about to push that thingy. There is a way. I believe you go to your tweets and then you can put it up on the panel for everyone to see. So this is the second map we are working on, which is going to be live hopefully sometime in December. Just gonna try to put it across to the panel, so hopefully now you will be able to see. So it's a slightly different map, and it's all happening in the nighttime, as you can see. So everything in the map is new. So the map itself, the different characters to the ones that we are updating now, which is a conquest map. This is a Neon City, different map. So we are increasing the number of maps as well, and we have the third map, which is in plans for sometime Q1 2023.
Awesome. And I have to say that considering the fact that there's some people that don't know, Hyena Motorcycle Club is part of the Genius X incubator. And I was speaking to somebody the other day that is actually going to be a part of the new gen of Genius X participants. And I said, if you follow what the creators and folks at Hyena Club are doing, I'd say you have a really good chance of actually succeeding, because they're not just taking what they're being given within the incubator, right? They're also going out, getting out there and marketing themselves. And you guys have done the best at that, I personally think. So kudos for that.
Yeah. Thank you for that. But it's just a bit of a correction. So it's not incubator; it's an accelerator. So we will always.
I feel like the same, but yeah, you're right.
Well, I mean, it's slightly different. So I mean, incubator, most often the case in which a project is fully set up from scratch, and accelerator, existing project can be onboarded to make it bit more in terms of the marketing and community exposure, and obviously the brand itself backing, such as Genius Yield, and which is the part of Genius X. So but the other points are absolutely spot on and valid.
Yeah, and the fact that their Genius is currently in beta, and they're really working hard to launch the decks. Marvin put out a really good video the other day. So you guys are really in really good company as far as who you're working with, I think. And it should be quite a fun ride here in the next few months.
Yes, absolutely. So all the projects, I think, going through the ISPO as well, they all more or less established. Some of them have produced a product. Some of them are about to very soon. So pretty much, I mean, you can get at very, very low value or at no cost. I mean, if you think of it, the staking benefit that Cardano has, then obviously, you just stake and receive, in the form of yield, tokens of those projects.
Yeah, it makes it very easy. And at the same time, it could be very valuable here in the future. So absolutely love it.
Yes. And if anyone, from the audience, if they had a chance to look into the game, if they have any questions and they want to ask anything in particular, happy to answer. That's why we try to be regular on Cardano Over Coffee. I know you're one of the, the most convenient and the most popular, the Twitter Spaces, which I love, always been listening to. Hence, I try to speak as often as we can.
We're definitely
You heard the
ardent
creature.
supporters.
If you've got a question coming up, let it rip.
You can play without owning the NFT, right? Only if you want to do the play to earn, you need it. So definitely
Correct.
check
Yes.
it out. I'm going to check it out myself for sure.
Can you do drive-bys in the game? Can you do a drive-by with a Uzi on the bike or something?
Yes. Actually, yes. What happens is when you have a gun, which you have when you select one of the characters, then when you ride on your bike, a hog, as also known as, you hold that weapon and it's visible. Yes, I mean if that was the question, then. But at the moment you cannot shoot, but we are working on this, to make it a bit more realistic to drive and shoot. But it's not easy, as you know. But in terms of in real life, so we're trying to make it as close to real life as possible. I know it's still two different animals trying to be humans, but nevertheless, in terms of gameplay, we're trying to make it close to reality.
Can you make a hyena sound?
No.
We're trying to figure out who can make a hyena sound. Why hyenas? I like to hear your take on hyenas. Like my husband always talks about how people hate on hyenas and they're so cute, and I'm like, okay.
Well, I think it's just because they are unique animals, aren't they? Because you've got coyotes is part of wolf, and species, and then you have the cat's feline, and hyena is belongs to its own Hyenidae species, which is quite unique. So they're not dog or the wolf or cat family. So at the time it seemed to be why not?
Were you worried at all about the reputation of hyenas when developing the game? I don't know if you watched The Lion King, but the hyenas were not too, they weren't the good guys.
Yes, that was the intention, because obviously it's not, the walk in the park game for kids. It's all shooting and blowing up. So they exactly fit the bill.
Do you remember the scene when they're like, Mufasa? They're like, no, Mufasa.
So I'm looking at JPEG store, and it looks like the floor right now is 149, but it's there's just one of them. And idea behind the motorcycle. Could you give us a little detail as to the different variations of?
Are you still minting?
NFT? Well, no. We had the Gen 2, but obviously the timing wise, it was when everything was collapsing. If you look into the, I think it was exactly the time when the Luna and all that malarkey came in. But no, we have the old ones on the JPEG, but we might do something in January.
Wait, did you say malarkey?
He did say malarkey. Yeah.
Malarkey, yes.
What kind of drink is that?
It's a word.
Oh, I thought only Joe Biden said that, or people who were alive in Joe Biden.
Hey, I've used malarkey before. Come on, it's just a very old reference. It's called,
Pick up dictionary a little bit more.
You have to look up the dictionary. So my question is surrounding the rarities. It doesn't look as though there is very many. The difference between the high and the low is 149 to 290 as far as the floor price and the highest priced motorcycle. And are there any differences between them at all?
No, not difference in terms of utility. The difference in terms of rarity, yes, but not in terms of utility. And some of them obviously less of a quantity, and some of them more. So that's purely the reason for bikes, and the same goes for the character NFTs. So they have and serve the same purpose in terms of utility. It's of equal value, but obviously some people like the rarity aspect and might pay more or less depending on how rare.
Got it. Well, the motorcycle itself looks really cool. Whoever did the design obviously has an understanding of motorcycles and how it would sit, and it looks as though it's even rideable the way it's set up. So you've got a Hyena Motorcycle Club, but you got some ape hangers on the motorcycle itself. But yeah, it's pretty badass.
Well, I mean, with the new upgrade, unless you have the bike NFT, you won't be able to ride a bike. So that's one of the advantages and disadvantages for some, perhaps with the new upgrade. But this is what we're trying to make. So all accessories that you use, if you own a particular NFT, you will be able to utilize in game.
So, Joe, did you hear that? If you don't have a motorcycle, you're not going to be able to do a drive-by. You're going to have to do a walk-by. And I don't know how good that's going to be honest. You definitely need the motorcycle to be able to do a drive-by. Come on.
Walk downs are far more gangster.
I just pinned up a giveaway. It seems to be valid still until the 15th. So definitely check it out.
But which giveaway? Is it the FOMO in?
Yes. It looks like it's still valid until the 15th, right?
I believe so. Yes. This is one of the the DeFi protocols. They cross chain. So we recently partnered up with them. So yeah, please do attend. I mean, it's quite a generous giveaway.
Check it out. I pinned it up at the top.
Are you worried that people are not going to take your project seriously because you don't have a blue check mark?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, how many Twitter so-called influencers have the blue check, and they are the less, in my view, verified, as one can say. So, no, I mean, as long as the project is good in terms of its content and the longevity, I think that what all matters.
And you're right. It seems like they rolled out the option. It's not available anymore for people. I wonder what's going on with that.
Yeah, they just announced. I was just driving and heard on the radio that they take it offline because too many dodgy accounts were creating fake accounts.
Oh, you don't say.
that damn Rick McCracken.
And it used to be like, oh, look, somebody with a check mark showed up to our space, and now it's like, oh,
now it's everywhere.
It took the whole thing away
right?
from us.
Now it's like, oh look, somebody with a check mark show up to our space, and we actually don't know if it's the real person.
That's hilarious.
I don't know about you guys. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to give Elon my bank account information for $8 every month. I feel truly honored.
Come on, are you kidding me? Especially for the utility, I'm willing to give up anything I need to in order to allow Elon to know that information for sure.
They already have my stuff. They're already taking my money, and I don't have a blue check mark. So hey, at least you got that.
Yeah, and just so you know, Joe's just crowing about his check mark. He just got it, so he's like throwing it out there with everybody. So if you don't have one, don't feel bad.
So in theory, I could make a profile for Elon Musk and just change the O to a 0 and get verified.
Yes.
And then he'll get mad and he'll block you and he'll bring down your account like he's done with a lot of people doing that.
Then you won't have the
Elon
chicken
will
sandwiches, Mixie. You won't have the chicken sandwiches to leverage.
Well, I mean, for the love of trolling, I just might starve for a week.
On that cherry note, that brings us to our time with our friends the hyenas over here. If you have any other dying question, let us speak now. Otherwise, hit the DM, hit the Discord. Why don't you give the people where they can go to ape into all of this?
Sorry, was that a question?
Yes, where can we go to ape in?
All the socials. So we have Discord, Twitter, website, and it's a two-way. We do have contact facility. You can just fill in and send just on the website.
And then what can people do today? Are anything minting? Is it playing the beta?
Yes. Playing the beta, and upgrade is coming over the weekend, Saturday, or at the latest on Sunday. Please look out for that, because it's going to be a massive difference in terms of the gameplay and content, as well as a new map coming up in December. But on top of that, sometime in end of November, we're doing tournaments as well. Whoever wants to attend, so it will be in the spirit of esports. So we were trying to get 30, 50 people playing at the same time, and the winner gets prizes, and good prizes. So that will be hopefully announced soon.
Neat. And where do people go to play the game?
Sorry, what was the question again?
Where do people go to play the game?
Yes, it can be downloaded on the website. So you go to website, which is hhmc.io/download, and then you have steps to follow, because some people are skipping the steps, and that is not registering the wallet, or the game is not being registered for leaderboards. So lots of issues we have had, but we've been repeating time and time again. Please do follow the steps so your wallet is registered, so you participate in the play to earn mode as well, if you do have the NFT. So if you skip one of the steps, then it's just a game. You can still play it, but you cannot utilize it to its full capacity.
What were you gonna ask, Big Joe?
I was gonna ask them if they had a TikTok, because the Hyena dance challenge just sounded like a great way to promote the game.
No, not a TikTok yet. No.
Big Joe, what's that about? Hyena dance.
Oh yeah, that's what TikTok's all about, the challenges.
Yeah, you get a TikTok, Jenny, and then you do a weird dance, and then you put a cool song, and then it might go viral.
Yeah, and then you get the callbacks, and then maybe you get a wolf to respond to the hyenas. You get this whole thing going. And
Coyote. Thank you.
Coyote.
And by the way, I entered the giveaway, and I tagged you and Jenny and Joker. So you guys are welcome, and you can join in there too. Let's go. Let's get it trending.
Neat. Thanks for stopping by and giving us an update. Looks like Sunday is gonna be awesome when the update to the game come out. Check it out. Follow all the steps. Yes, this goes for guys too. Follow the steps. Steps are not just for non-guys and broskies. I don't know what else is there besides non-guys and broskies, but yeah, cool.
Siskies. All my broskies and my siskies.
Siskies. Okay.
Well, on that note, thanks again for coming. Always a pleasure to have you. We'll go ahead and do the mid-roll. Who wants to do the mid-roll?
Is TCT here? I don't see him.
Jenny? Come on, BlockJock. I really butcher that stuff. Take your money off of exchanges.
There you go.
Check out Lido Nation. It's the best website out there to learn about your favorite project catalysts, proposals, and they provide education in plain English, Espanol, and Kiswahili. And take your money off of the exchanges if you don't want to have a bad time. Do it now. Stake it to Lido Nation, Hero Pool, stress-free staking with Epoch. Follow everybody here that's in the community. Show support. Love one another. This is why we're here, to grow together. We're too small to focus on competition. This is about being a stepping stone for one another, helping each other out. And we're going to make it. So get your money off exchanges is definitely the main priority right now. You see what's happening. You don't want to have a bad time. So get your monies. Get your monies.
A lot of pain happening right now for people who are on those centralized exchanges and had no clue. And sadly, they were horrible stewards of your crypto. And ultimately, over here in Cardano, you can be your own steward of your crypto. So by all means, take charge.
Neat. Why is your hand up, Mixie?
Because I'm a respectable person.
Go on. Carry on.
So, what does the key in Swahili mean?
That's just how you say Swahili in Swahili. It's Kiswahili.
Thanks to Big Joe, who pointed that out, which was amazing, by the way. Such a great observation. Total Big
Such
Joe
a great
style.
observation.
Well, you know, I smoke a lot, so
you got that from Keys? Keys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Got it.
I got the
Transferred it right over.
keys. I got the keys.
Like what happened is that Lida used to say in English, Español, and then he would say Swahili, and he's like, "Is that how you say Swahili in Swahili?" So then he found out that no, you say Kiswahili. So that's why.
No. I know, and you know, I spoke to the Swahili folks, and I'm like, yo, you can have me trying to pronounce Swahili things around here. You're the Swahili folks, so I'm gonna need you guys to step up and start tweeting in Swahili and start doing the Swahili things.
Can we
That means
translate
more
in
work
Google
for
Translate?
me, right? That means I have to have more articles in the pipeline so they can translate it fast enough to come out when the English versions come out. Anyways,
Oh, by the way, this is a great time to remind people that you do have that option that people can record articles. I think that's great. I still
right?
need to do something about that. I haven't
Yes, do
participated.
it. We've made it super even more clearer now. If you go to any article, there's a big obvious yellow button that says record article. You just click on it. It works best on your computer. It works and on Android. iPhone, if you use Chrome, maybe it'll work on iPhone, but sometimes.
Yeah, just wanted to shout out to Coolio down there, man. Satnam, my brother.
Who is
Satnam.
Coolio?
Coolio.
Who is that?
Coolwinder. Just a brother from another mother down there.
Why are we
That's all I'm saying.
shouting? Why are we
Shout out.
shouting them out?
Hey,
Because
people down there
Coolio's
in the
cool,
crowd.
man.
Yeah.
Shout out Coolio.
Why is
Right.
Coolio cool?
Come on,
Well,
Gangster's
that's a great
Paradise is
question.
a classic.
I
Oh,
wonder if Coolio would come up, man. That'd be great.
Isn't Julio that dude that had like the blonde hair and he was like a singer and shit?
No.
yeah, Coolio. What do you do, Oh, I played golf with Coolio. It's been a
There
while.
you go.
Coolio?
Now you Coolio.
Coolio, why are you so cool, man? Woman, or
Good
person?
morning.
He just came up.
I'm
morning, man.
not sure I would say I'm cool. I've lived through the shit that's happening since Mount Gox, and just sitting back and enjoying the show because people keep fucking each other over. Sorry for my language. I know this is recorded, but greedy bastards will always be greedy. Sorry.
That is definitely true.
And I don't know why BlockJock pointed me out. I'm just here. I will be here until the end.
I just point out.
Wait. Until the end, until my end, as Big P likes to say.
Until my end. Until my end.
Okay, until your end.
Oh.
Until
The
everybody's
end
end.
sounds so much different with Elon Musk wearing that red outfit and now FTX. So the end means a lot of things now.
It's just your kick-ass look, dude. That's all I'm talking about. So I got a few friends of mine that are of that particular.
Okay, BlockJock, just leave it there.
Thank you.
Yep. We'll leave it there.
I hope
you guys little love muffin. Muffin BlockJock.
I hope everyone is doing well today, though. Go out, go get a nice cup of tea, coffee. If you drink other stuff, just go out and do something. Get off the computer for a little bit.
I drink lean.
Thanks, man.
Bullish on touching grass. I love that.
Well, great. Thanks for coming by. Thanks for saying hi, Coolio. Let's go to the hands. Cheddar,
Point out
what's
that
up?
Julio said he wasn't gonna cuss and then immediately cussed right after that.
Yeah,
Sorry, I apologize.
No, you're good, man.
We'll get over it. What's up, Cheddar?
Good morning, everybody. I just wanted to shout out the 10 people that we can tell have iPhones and an extra $8 right now. So
the extra $8.
Hallelujah.
All out.
These are the people who pay an extra $1 every time they order Uber, who pays $20 every time they book an airline ticket extra. So what's $8, right?
Well, I hope you also are the people that support your favorite friend NFT project, and you don't say that you don't have an extra $8 to share.
Yeah, Groucho.
Yeah, like $8 is like 1,000 ADA right now.
No, seriously though, if you are buying stuff online from random websites, like keep a Windows computer around because there is an Apple tax, FYI.
I'm shocked Balbowski hasn't got the check mark yet. Come on, man. Let's go.
He doesn't have it? Let's go to the other hand. Who is JPG Gardner? JP Gardner, what's up? And how can we tell you're officially JP Gardner? You don't have the check mark.
Yeah, I missed out on that. Hey guys, I was supposed to be on earlier. My calendar showed it was for 9:35, so
Are you
my apologies.
Resolver?
Yeah.
It's actually 10:35, so this is the time.
Yeah, so there's just 3 minutes.
Okay.
You're good. Yeah, this is good. This is exactly when you're supposed to be here.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Well, without any further ado, let's welcome Ada Resolver. So sorry, Hyena, you didn't get this welcome because you're 7 minutes late. But so we welcome everybody like this, okay? Don't feel disparaged. Let's give a round of emojis for JP Gardner, Ada Resolver. Welcome to the stage. Welcome, GM. Why don't you go ahead and introduce? Oh, nice. That's a nice touch. Introduce yourself to the crew, to the crowd, and just a short version of how you came to be into Cardano.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm JP Gardner. I've been in Cardano since like May of 2021. So got in around the $8 mint right after some of the bigger mints, and have just been collecting NFTs since, and met Victor War last year, who is the founder of Art of Woman, and he introduced me to a technology that him and his partner Gersel are going to be launching in December, called Ada Resolver. And he told me that he'd love for me to, come and chat about it with everybody. And so that's why I'm here.
Excellent. Welcome. We were all speculating earlier about what Ada Resolver is. We just couldn't wait to actually hear you talk about it. I had to literally hold Jenny back and be like, Jenny, just wait. They'll be here soon, and you will get all your answers. So why don't you get into it? What is Ada Resolver, and get into what it is you want us to know about the project?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now in Web3, I mean, we're talking about blue check marks today, right? And just in general in Web2, identity can be a kind of a tricky thing. People, can build up a following and, not be verified. I mean, I know in my business, getting verified and, being able to establish an identity is a really important thing for a business. And there's been a lot of gatekeepers for Web2. And what's really interesting, I think, about Web3 is that it's all on chain. It's going to be determined by us. I would say that Ada Resolver is really about domains, not names, right? So you can see that I have an Ada handle. I am JPEG, which is great. Love that. But when you want to establish a broader identity for Web3, you're going to really need something that is, has more information. And I think also for people to be a little bit more comfortable with your Web3 identity, it's going to need to look a little bit more like traditional Web2 identity. So for Ada Resolver, they're introducing the @ symbol for identity. So if you go and look at the Twitter, they have a really good example that was posted on October 13th. You'll be able to buy John at Ada. So you'll be able to give people that domain, and they'll be able to type that in, and that will resolve to a certain piece of information, or that will resolve to an address. I know that the first version is meant to resolve to something singular, like either it's going to be an address or a social profile, one of those things. But in the future, your identity will resolve to a collection of things. I would say something similar to probably like a LinkedIn type of presentation. So really, Ada Resolver is about establishing a standard for Web3 identity.
Dope.
Super cool. Well, let it rip, Jenny. The man is in the house.
Oh, but
Time
let
to
him,
get
I
out all
mean,
those
there's gotta be
questions.
more. I have questions when the presentation ends.
Wait, I
I'm
thought
sure you have.
that was the end. Was there more?
Oh,
There's
It
a
seemed
lot
like
more functionality, and there's a lot more things that we can talk about, but that's sort of like the high level. This is
yeah.
Web3
It
identity.
seems like a good overview of what it
Yeah.
is.
yeah, I was just like, I mean, my question was like, how are you? Like, like I was like, hoping for more info on the tech side. And, we have ADA handles, of course, that they had a proposal, right? They got funded to take that to the next level. And then we also have ADA domains, which have their own way of going by it. And you can check their progress and what kind of like how they're aiming to do this. So I was just hoping to get a little more info on your own way of doing this.
Well, the reality is that I am here for Victor and Gersel because they're from Brazil, and I'm helping them out talk about this. When it comes to the technology side of it, I can definitely get some more information when it comes to like how it's working in the back end. But I'm really here to introduce this technology and give you a little bit more of that sort of high level information about what it can do and where it can lead, and when this is ready to launch. So it's going to work kind of more like DNS and like traditional domains. So I imagine that based on like the on-chain information that you will be minting to the chain, it will have some sort of functionality like that. But I don't know the exact specific technology behind it.
Yeah, if there's any information you can share, because I've read I read everything that you have out there, and just doesn't. I see a lot of information about the drop, whether it's like legendary, how many points it brings, or some governance to it. But the tech, or how is it going to be, like the technology side of it, is just not very. There's just not real information. So I would like to see where we can find that. That'd be great. Thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we'll definitely provide more of that. From a documentation standpoint, I know that they have links to different examples of languages that they'll be using in order to implement. So that's going to be on the documentation part of the white paper. But you're right, that needs to be augmented.
What's up, Chatterbox?
Hey, dope presentation. I love this. There definitely needs to be more of these like handle kind of solutions and stuff. My question is during y'all's journey through this, we've got the A to A, and it's like if you look at the most updated keyboards for like the phones and stuff, like they've got the Bitcoin symbol and stuff. And so I'm wondering like what the process is for getting the A to A like put into just the general lexicon kind of thing.
Oh, that's a good question. I don't think that there's anything to this project will address that. I agree. I mean, the A to A really needs to get out there. But right now, this is really more about establishing identity around the @ sign and like a period based, more like DNS. So if like as if you go to whitepaper.adaresolver.com, right? That idea of like dot domain, right? Like Justin dot Ada. that type of domain, or just an @ADA. That's really what we're trying to establish. But you're right, the A2A, in order for for the chain to proliferate more and to get it out there more, that type of information. I mean, I guess it would be Unicode, right? That would have to be implemented for that to get out there. But no plans as that I know of to implement anything like that in this first stage.
Questions, JP. So, what's your stake in Ada Resolver? Are you just a fan? Are you a co-founder?
No, I'm just a fan. Victor and I know each other through the Faha 100, and he's been talking about this technology. And he told me that he'd love for somebody to be able to talk about it, because Web3, I think, in my mind, there's a lot of debate around identity in Web3, especially as it relates to the NFT world. And I understand the want and need for anonymity, and I think that that's like a kind of like a separate thing. But I also think that in order for Web3 to establish credibility, really, really enhanced identity is going to be a key part of that. And so when Victor came to me and talked to me about this, I told him, listen, I would love to talk about this. I'd love to talk to you more about this. I'd love to talk on Spaces about this, because I think there just needs to be a broader conversation about identity that gets started and how we establish it. Because Ada Resolver is going to be a company that is going to establish something that I believe is going to be a standard, and we'll build on that. But the broader conversation has to happen. And so there's a big conversation around identity that needs to happen.
But are you saying that it's going to be a standard, but a standard in terms of technology-wise? Because that's the part that I'm trying to figure out what it is.
Well, just before you respond to that, JP, it would be really nice to get the people who are actually building this thing to be here. A part of the space and the show is not just talking about the thing, but getting to know the people, because there are lots of questions that I feel like it wouldn't be fair for me to ask you, right? Because I want to know, what is the competency? What makes this team? The Cardano community, for example, have already spent $447,000 on the stuff Ada Handle is doing. So how is this different than that, and like tech-wise and stuff like that?
Yeah, and let me answer that. So Victor and Gersel, English is a distant second language for both of them. And so they can't really be on Spaces in a way that is, I guess, fluid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's why they wanted me. Yeah. So that's why they wanted me to jump in and introduce
there's a universal translator.
Maybe you can try to help find somebody that can help you come here and translate that stuff for them.
I mean, Jenny, what's the first language? Because Jenny speaks English, BlockJock speaks Fluffy, and Big Joe speaks weed. Jenny speaks Spanish.
I'm fluent in Fluffy, so super fluent.
So hold on. He still has a passion for this, right? So my question is to him, JPEG, JPG.
Yeah.
What is the future of this Web3? I know this project particularly is kind of using Web2 at symbols, but what is the future of Web3 domains look like? And I'm not just talking about just pure identity. I guess identity is a big part of being online, right? But like, I remember having emails from Comcast, from all these comms that I've had in the past that have died within time, Yahoo, Gmail, etc. But like, what is the future for you for the Web3? I could go on, but yeah, what is the Web3 5-year future or something along those lines?
Well, then the nomenclature that we're establishing now, CNFT, NFT, ADA, right? Those are the things that are sort of like at the base level of our understanding of Cardano. And this is being built for Cardano, but it can be extensible. So I think that there's some terminology that's being established now that I don't really think is going to change. So when it comes to Comcast, when it comes to Yahoo, when it comes to Hotmail, those types of things that sort of like age out over time. A John at Ada resolver will have longevity because Ada isn't going away. So I think that answers one part of your question. The other part is sort of like more of a longer term vision of if I'm understanding the question correctly.
But this resolver stuff though, is it Web3 or is it Web2?
It's definitely Web3, but it takes the understanding of what people are using from Web2 and brings it to Web3.
Yeah, that was kind of my question too. Or is it like a fusion, like quite literally, where you take?
Well, how is it Web3 though? Right? Like what makes it Web3?
Yeah, can I try to just ask a quick question?
Yeah.
It might be related a little bit. Yeah. So my question is it taking elements that live in Web 2 and combining with elements in Web 3 to kind of have other people be able to identify with you? Or is it just kind of taking certain attributes that are in Web 2 and applying it to Web 3? So like if I have my Cardano address that shows I participated in Gimbal Labs bounty, or I hold this NFT, or I belong to this DAO, is it just kind of showing that in a way and building my profile? Or is it like merging my Cardano experience with my Twitter and Facebook and Spotify?
Yeah, my understanding is it is the second thing. So in the same way that, in order for us to all go and buy NFTs, we have to go to jpeg.store and interact with a website, right? And then we bring our Web3 identity right now, which is our wallet, so that we can interact and buy, we can list, and we sign transactions. And the jpeg.store is the Web2 portal for our interaction with Web3. So my understanding is it's going to work in a similar fashion. There will definitely be like a heavy Web2 component that merges the Web2 identity with the Web3 implementation.
Do you have a follow-up, Beboski?
Thank you, Beboski, for answering my question. I love the integration.
So I had one question as well. The Resolver Pass, it's on the website. I'm curious if you could speak to that a little bit.
So my understanding is that that's going to be a pass that is sold and then will allow a cheaper purchase of the resolvers. So you can get a price, but I don't have a lot of information about that right now.
Okay, because currently you have like, if it's just one character, it's 600 ADA, and then it drops all the way down to 15 ADA for 9+ characters. So this will be kind of like a special event, let's say, that will allow for maybe almost like, a boost to your guys' protocol as far as involvement goes. Is that the idea?
That's what it seems like. Yeah, it seems like the Resolver Pass is going to be something that people can buy so that they can get things at a discount going forward. Well, so it's kind of like a multi-pass type of thing.
Right. So these would be things I think in the future as this gets fleshed out a little bit more, and then you're able to disseminate just exactly what the creators are wanting, and then you have a better understanding of it to come back on before you actually do this Resolver Pass and things like that. We can talk about it even further after that. Not to say that this is ending here, but I'm just saying for future,
Definitely.
Right. Well, any other question? Because I feel like the questions I would want to ask it to the people who are doing the thing.
I feel the same way. There's so much to unpack, actually, because I did read the whole thing, and there's like things about attaching to physical things, having like a platform for you to like search a resolver and connect, and there's so much to it that I feel like it will be great to have
Well,
to be
Victor
able to
and
like
Grossel are
expand.
here. Victor and Grossel are here. Now, you can ask the question, and I can
I didn't
certainly
even
read.
know that this came from the Faja. That's how little I go there anymore. But
Yeah.
they definitely like you can. I mean, I'll reach out to Victor and I'll see if I can help. Maybe schedule something else and get a little
Victor,
more deep into this thing.
Jenny, it sounds like
Victor
they're
is
here.
here. Yeah, they're here right now. And so, if you'd like to ask questions, I can certainly see if they can answer them through text, and I can read their text.
If I may be so bold, I think that Twitter has solved this with Spaces already with the closed captioning. If I'm not mistaken, there is a universal translator for everybody, and so as they're speaking in their native tongue with their language settings on here, and you're having your English settings, it's going to translate for us.
Oh, that would be great, man.
That'd be amazing.
They've got that done yet. Cool.
Is that true, or is Chatter just talking nonsense?
No, man. Like I've totally been in the Japanese spaces early in the morning on the way East Coast,
Hold up,
Jenny,
let's
speak
test
Spanish.
this. Right, we've got Jenny, we've got Big Joe. My caption is on. Let's hear the Spanish roll.
A ver, ¿qué te dicen en español? ¿Cómo está la cosa? ¿Qué están haciendo? No sé qué decir. What's going on,
Bienvenidos a Cardano Arriba de Café.
Arriba de café? I love you, Joe.
It's working for me.
I mean, how do you know? Do you speak Spanish to see if it's really saying what it's supposed to be saying?
I live in Dallas, Texas. I have my fluency in Texican.
So the Spanish for me, it just came through as Spanish for
it
BlockJock.
came through me in English. I got it in English. It started in Spanish and then it converted, is what it did. And
Well,
not every
I say that's
word.
good enough.
Big Joe was like a little iffy. He was like speaking Spanglish.
Hold on. I was going to say the Spanglish kind of threw it off there.
Yeah.
Like,
It wasn't perfect.
I love you, Big Joe. Oh, does it work?
Yeah, because I'm curious about the resolver with the wallet integration, because obviously Eternal has a wallet integration for the ADA handle. So interesting to see,
I mean, here's the question, because the guest slot is over. The last 30 minutes is supposed to be for banter. Do we want to talk to the peeps, Victor and the other
or maybe
person?
we can like put some questions together.
Yeah,
No,
I want to know more about what like a web 3 is going to look like, or maybe we're thinking too small. Web 4.
I don't know why you're asking one company what Web 3 is gonna look like. I mean, that seems like a
this is a permissionless system.
That seems like a whole room speculative discussion thing.
I like it. This is a permissionless system. You got full right to speculate.
So JPG,
right? No, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I just like to point out that part of the show is talking about the thing that they're building, and trying to help them improve on that. Yes. Anyways, let's come to a consensus on the next 30 minutes. Do we speak to them now or later? And feel free to ask your question, Pyra. I'm just giving you shit. Now or later, co-host.
For me. And we could also do it again later, obviously.
I think that we should probably plan another visit. I want them to be able to have their time to really elaborate here, since now we know that there is this, there's a situation where we do have a lot of questions. So now you know that there is interest, which is important. You came here, you accomplished this, so this is great. Maybe just schedule another one and let's just work on having this translation or whatever.
How about two,
having
Jenny,
the questions ahead
just
of time.
a little abbreviated so we could actually have fun with this translator. So,
And by the way, can we confirm the primary language? Is it
Well,
Spanish
it's
or is it something
Brazilian,
else?
right? It's
Brazilian. Okay.
Portuguese. They're
Yeah,
from Brazil,
Portuguese.
right?
Portuguese.
So
Yes,
they're.
correct.
I speak Portuñol, but that doesn't work for text stuff. So
I like Portuguese. I can speak Portuguese too.
Oh, nice. Um. Okay. Well, so I think we're saying we should schedule it. And I heard Jenny say we could even prep some question ahead of time, which I think we'll be happy to do. Um.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And then we can have a space like really getting into the thing that's being built, and even more important, the people that are building it, right? And trying to get into that too. What's up, Riley?
Yeah, I have a question that's not specific to the conversation that was just being had, but it is definitely relevant to that conversation. With CIP 68 and CIP 67, tentatively, I don't know why it doesn't seem more apparent to others that using a similar minting policy to what Barry did for the Matrix berries recently, you could make a completely decentralized alternative to ADA handles and have it so that there is no native script minting policy that's controlled by a centralized entity. Because right now, I mean, ADA handles are controlled by a centralized minting policy, and talking to the team, they don't seem to have a clear roadmap as to when that's going to change. I personally don't see myself doing this just because it's time, right? And there's so many other things on my plate, but I don't know why it's not something people are kind of thinking about, because it would be relatively trivial to do that, and you basically just allow for the datum to be any byte string, and then people can put their address into that byte string. It allows for, again, not only a decentralized minting policy, but also it allows for the handles, if you want to call them that, to be leveraged inside of smart contracts as opposed to just being able to be leveraged during off-chain computation, which is currently the case. So I think that there's a lot of room for improvement in the NFT scene, and I think that some of the recent CIPs have really pushed the limits on what's possible. I'd love to see some people actually leveraging those CIPs, but it's surprising to me that people are not sort of talking about this.
Can
thanks
Victor
for
or
that,
someone
Riley.
from Ada
Because
Resolver just comment on that bit? Oh,
and maybe some of them are using that and they just don't speak about it. But you're absolutely right. And then it gives you the holder, the
well,
ability to
there's no
update,
incentive to use that right now, Jenny, because only Namin supports it. None of the marketplaces supports it. So it's a little
Yeah, but the
tricky
I
for
mean,
the
but
benefit
that's
people
how
who
it
are
was
and
in the
getting
you could
NFT space at the beginning, and there was plenty of incentive for people to come up with like all kinds of NFTs, Lido. So that's not true.
right. You can do a lot of innovative things right now and do it before anybody else
Well,
does. And additionally, the other wallets, marketplaces, and such will end up supporting CIP68 because it's already been pushed through. It's already a CIP. It's not
well, I
just like,
mean, this is not a speculation thing. Is anybody using it besides Barry?
no, I don't think at this point in time. But that's what I'm asking is why? Because I think
Right.
that it has so much sort of utility can be added to NFTs due to this that's actually
how long does it?
occurring.
I'm sorry,
Well,
Riley.
it's
How
pretty
long does it
Okay,
take?
new.
hold up. Before we go into everybody having an opinion, I would like to see if Ada Resolver has a comment on it, since they're literally building something that could benefit from this. Ada Resolver?
Yeah, I don't know if Victor or Gersel will be able to talk about that, but obviously, I mean, Barry, you know, sets amazing standards. I think we just need to see what the adoption for this new metadata standard is going to be. There's definitely going to be metadata that is going to be associated with the resolver, and that will be able to be modified and changed because sometimes your information does change. So that will be able to be updated. But as it relates to CIP 68, I don't know if the plan is to adopt
Right.
that new metadata standard or not.
to be clear, if you're using CIP 25 as opposed to CIP 68, there's no way to do any of this in a decentralized way. You're going to end up using a centralized server. And if, for example, ADA handle were to go broke tomorrow and no longer be able to run their company, handles would no longer get minted, right? And not only that, but if someone were to hack them, then all of your handles are absolutely worthless. So it's one of those things where I think that it not only provides a lot of benefits within the sort of purposes of being used for information, metadata, right? But it also serves a lot of purposes for sort of longer term or indefinite minting policies that need to go on for effectively ever, but should not, and definitely, I'm going to say that again, should not be controlled by a centralized entity. I have some ADA handles, but that's kind of my biggest gripe with them, is that I haven't heard from them a solid timeline of when they plan to actually decentralize, because right now it's not decentralized at all.
At all. Well, people had hands up. This seems to have gone down, but
No, I accidentally bumped somebody down to speaker. So if you're not speaking anymore, if you don't mind, like giving up the space, that's great. If not, we'll wait. But thanks. Yeah.
But yeah, why aren't people? See you sending things to stepping by. Why aren't people doing the Civ 68 thing? This is just because it just came out 2 weeks ago?
Because everybody wants to claw their way kicking and screaming, saying no change, no change, no change, because human gonna human. Lido.
I think it's actually because it raises the bar, to be honest. I think that if NFT Maker had a button where you could click a button and all of a sudden your NFTs are CIP 68 compliant, people would probably do it, but that's not sort of the situation we're in right now, and I'm sure it'll get there eventually. But even if you do have that, I mean, again, it's sort of the doors that this opens, and there's more effort involved. You have to use Plutus. That's why you have to use Plutus. People don't want to use Plutus because people don't want to put in effort, because people want to mint PFP projects that are a bunch of Ponzi's and sell them to people, make money, and leave.
Whoa!
Sorry.
Shots fired.
Let me just
Hey, you know
what? Hey,
the man's not necessarily wrong.
Hey, but that's the thing, right? Is like it. Riley's not saying something that is just his opinion. I mean, this is an archetype from almost all of the developer side across the board. And so how do we make the utility and the execution and everything of what we're doing here on the outside something that makes developers hungry for? I mean, that's
I'll
to
tell
me,
you
that's
what
the
it
KPI.
is, in my opinion. I think it's like, first, it is new, so it's for everybody to just connect to what it means and the possibilities it brings. It's not quite there yet, but the ones that do understand it, a lot of people are threatened by it. For example, if your job is to mint NFTs, this pretty much means your job is your days are numbered, right? Because this showcases that now you don't really need minting services down the road, because once people realize they can just put it all there in a decentralized way, and nobody really, nobody can rug you anymore. It's a matter of time. So it does represent a threat for some businesses, I guess, and they're going to try to like keep it hidden as much as they can, because that's how it works. It's like getting in between a man and its meal, right? So
wait, don't those minters still have to be the one writing the contract and setting
that's what
up
I'm saying. And
automation and
people,
stuff like
instead
that?
of and that's always been a
templatized.
problem. It's a problem with decentralized with open source, right? People, this is part of our challenge here, is understanding that we have to embrace new technology and find the ways for us. And that's the difference between having a finite mentality and an infinite, mindset, is that you take surprises and you make something out of it, and as opposed to reject the change, which is very, very common in the legacy world. And I think we'll see less and less of that the more that we keep pushing the boundaries. If you get too comfortable and you set up shop and a landing, you're never going to get it up, get up there to the top,
Shit,
and
I
that's
was
what's
just
happening.
getting comfortable, Jenny. What's
Don't
up,
get too
JP?
comfortable, okay?
Go ahead,
So
JP.
yeah, I think that's what it is, honestly. So we'll get
And
there. And the more people realize that, and you get the tools are out there for you. So you get in with the devs that will actually point you in the right direction.
yeah, and I agree with that. I think that there's still going to be a place for services like, for example, NMaker, because I do think that there's always going to be a lot of teams out there that don't have the resources to put up infrastructure themselves. There's already like open source minting tools, and people still pay to use NMaker. So I think that that'll probably continue, and I do understand what you're saying as well, like how that could feel threatening. And I'm sure it feels threatening too for a lot of these NFT projects that, for example, like ADA Handle, where it's like if someone right now were to come in, there's sort of a ripe opportunity to potentially take away their market share by, for example, if someone were to create a decentralized alternative and provide a 1 month time frame where everyone who has an ADA handle from the original ADA handles can come and migrate over, and there's no charge to migrate, you just pay a network transaction fee, there's no like additional charge, you're able to migrate for 1 month, and then after that you no longer have that sort of migrate capability. Sorry, you missed out. I think a lot of people would migrate, and I think after they did that, I think a lot of people would start to adopt it, seeing as though it is a significantly and arguably objectively better standard. So it's that's kind of where I'm coming from, I guess. But it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I think there's a lot of people that just don't want to do the work.
JP, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I have a question for Riley and maybe Jenny too when it comes to CFP68. So my understanding of it was that it basically builds a framework that is much more flexible when it comes to metadata. And as you mentioned, it is it's something that is decentralized. I didn't realize myself that metadata was not decentralized currently. So just for my own edification, when it comes to like CFP68, what's the difference between metadata that's currently stored versus metadata under the CFP68 and like the NFT 222 standard or the fungible token 333 standard that kind of like is wrapped into that?
So the primary difference between CIP 25, which defines a metadata standard for using the transaction metadata of the minting transaction for a given asset to define metadata for that asset, right? So that metadata, when we talk about transaction metadata, it is on chain. It's on chain. It's just that it can't be used by smart contracts. It can't be used by anything that is going on chain, right? It can be used by like servers that are indexing the chain to figure out what's going on, and so they can look to the chain and say, hey, I see this metadata from this transaction that happened 5 weeks back, and so I'm able to use that metadata to go look at IPFS, right, and figure out where the image is based on a hash that's inside of that metadata, and then display the image and the name of the token and stuff appropriately for people. But the benefit of using CIP68 is that instead of storing that information inside of the transaction metadata, you're actually creating a reference token that stays inside of a smart contract and has a datum attached to it, right? And a datum is different than metadata. Datum is something that's on the UTXO itself. And so once that UTXO is gone, that datum is gone, right? You cannot use that datum once that UTXO is gone. But what's really nice about this is that we can update that datum. We can not only update that datum, but we can do it based on predicates within a smart contract, as to based on some logic within a server, which is then validated using a native script. So it's just a server signature, right? That's not decentralization. So it's like we all talk about decentralization and how great it is and how bad FTX is and centralization and how that shit screws you over. And it's like, all right, let's practice what we preach.
Okay. And so when that additional token lives within a smart contract, that then ensures that that metadata is decentralized in perpetuity until until somebody wants to change it. And the change is going to be decentralized as well because it's going to be all happening within that smart contract.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
you
like if
set
you
up
wanted to,
pre-set up what can be done or not. Like it's not like you can just like change whatever. It's not,
Okay.
things can be immutable, and some things can be open for the holder of the NFT that's paired to that, like that other token that's in a smart contract. So you are the one that can change that, not the creator.
well, right. But also, Jenny, if someone wanted to, like if the creator set up their smart contract in a way where there's certain conditions where, like, for example, like you could evolve your NFT. So it's like it's a Pokemon, right? And maybe if you have a transaction built where there's this Pokemon and another Pokemon in it, and they both come out and they both gain experience, right? And the actual tokens that are inside of that transaction are the reference tokens. They live in a smart contract, so it's all a smart contract based transaction. And instead of actually signing the transaction, you move your token, which represents ownership, right? So you're still signing the transaction because you have to move your own token, but you're just self-sending your own token to validate to the smart contract that you actually own that token, the NFT that's not the reference token. It's like it lives in your wallet, right? And so you've got this NFT that lives in your wallet. You're able to use it to validate transactions that are going on with this reference NFT, which can both be witnessed in transactions. So it's like you could, without spending it, anybody can read the datum off of that in a smart contract. So if you're like a marketplace or something, you can leverage that. Or if you're part of this Pokemon game, you could leverage that information for something. And then additionally, like I said, after you have a certain amount of experience, you can make it so that your Pokemon levels up or is able to level up in that transaction, right? And you can kind of have all of these rules arbitrarily around what can and cannot occur inside of those transactions and what parts of the datum can change based on certain conditions. And it could be as simple as, like Jenny said, it could be very simple. And like I said, with ADA handle replacement, it would be very simple. You would literally just have a byte string for the datum, so just a string, right, which you use for an address, and then you give the owner of the wallet NFT full access to change that data. So they can just go change it to any other byte string that they want. As long as it's a byte string, they can change it. And so then they can add their address there just fine, right? But it adds all of this flexibility, and it doesn't do it in a way where you have to have a centralized server. I think that's the really big takeaway, is that this is a way to build systems that last as long as Cardano lasts.
And the cool thing about the kind of, the thing about the programming language that's been picked to do all this stuff, it's like very easy, like to audit compared to other languages. Like smart contracts in Ethereum are very scary,
That's all thanks to functional programming with Haskell, because you can't have bugs when it's functional programming. But I'm wondering if now, because of this, Big Joe, since you got that blue check mark, are you like writing a good 16 bars on how people need to combine their UTXOs so they can lessen their lock data in their wallets and shit?
Yeah, all that. I'm talking about Solidity and Ethereum and Haskell, and how Riley has all the CIPs memorized and he's talking about 68 right now. He was talking about CIPs at CNFTCon in the front of the hotel with J Crypto and gaming and stuff, and I was like, what are you talking about? But now I'm starting to learn the CIPs myself, like CIP 69, my favorite for stake pools.
Yeah, CIP 69. Let's go.
For a
Living la
second, I thought
vida
somebody was doing the
loca.
hyena.
That wasn't a hyena? I thought it was too. Well, folks, this has been a fun conversation. We've got 9 minutes left, so keep it going or introduce a new topic. I see Daniela up here. Good morning, Daniela. How are you doing?
Hi, good morning. So, yes, I'm very happy to be here today and listening to this conversation. It's amazing. It really levels me up. I speak Portuguese, like I said. I'm from Brazil, and I've been living in New York over 25 years already. But yes, I love this conversation. I'm here to learn more about Web 2, Web 3. I'm on this. I'm very happy to hear about this. Thank you.
Glad to have you here. Thank you for
Love
stopping
it.
by and saying hi. Oh, sorry, were you saying something else?
I love it. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniela.
We do too, right? I mean, Cardano gets flack for being
Can I
too
ask Riley a
technical.
question about the CIPs?
Is this why you're interrupting me, Pyro? Can you
Oh.
ask a question after I'm not talking anymore? Is that
You
cool?
are awesome.
Is
You are the
that
greatest.
cool
I am
with
so
you?
sorry.
That's how you interrupt them first. You have to like throw flowers a Lido, and then you can respond.
Wait until Web 3 or Web 4 comes around, and it's all just no code, and you don't need front end. And
Sure.
No, just
Pyro,
saying.
you actually need to ask your girlfriend before you can ask him if you can ask a question.
100%. I have to ask her before I can do anything. So
Well,
you're right.
that a lot of the shit things and stupid things that I ended up not doing in my life is because I asked a woman. So I second that.
And shout out
Can
to
I say one
Rodrigo
more thing? I'm sorry
Molina.
to
Rodrigo
interrupt.
Molina. I see you
So
here
yeah,
too.
I
Rodrigo?
heard the other day
I guess
someone
Daniela
saying
can hear
about
me.
crypto is gonna be gone. I was gonna say something, but I didn't have time to say. But like I said, I live in New York, and I don't know if any of you heard about, but the mayor of New York City, when he entered the city, to become a mayor, the first thing he did was to request his first payment as a cryptocurrency. So I know New York, we don't have much about cryptocurrency, but we are starting to have. So that was his requested he requested that, and he got it. And so it's good to know, right?
Neat. Okay, Pyro, let's hear it. What's this question you have for Riley?
I hear a lot about the different SIPs coming up, and I would like to know if the SIPs that you read are just on GitHub, or where the best place to read the newest SIPs, or at least lock into the where like the where the minds start turning. Like where do I go as an average consumer to learn about these SIPs? Because to be honest with you, I don't know. I hear from you guys.
There's usually how it works is there's a post on a forum. There's a Cardano Improvement Proposal forum, and you can go sign up, and you can have early discussions about CIPs there. And so the idea is that CIPs kind of get iterated on. They get initially kind of brought up by somebody, and they don't have to be like kind of fully fleshed out, and the whole community works to come to a conclusion about what that CIP needs in order to actually be ready, in order to kind of be implemented or be set as a standard. And sometimes that results in the community saying that there is no sort of need for that CIP, and the CIP doesn't end up ever sort of getting put into place as a standard or improvement, right? So that does happen from time to time. But usually the first place I see CIPs is actually on Twitter. I usually see them on Twitter and then go to the forum to read comments if I have anything to say, and then later they get
But
on the
there is
GitHub.
a GitHub. I do
There
follow.
is a
There's a
GitHub, but
GitHub with all
it
the
usually,
CIPs.
yeah, but it doesn't get updated as quickly as the forum. The forum is where they start, and then they go to the GitHub.
But I do to like Pyro's point. I do go to the CIPs they're all there, and then I subscribe to them, right? And then I star them, and then I subscribe to them, and I get emails, and it's really cool because it comes as a thread, right? So I can just keep reading the conversations that happens amongst people when they comment on it.
Subscribe where, Jenny? On GitHub or the forum?
On GitHub. Okay. So then I have it, so then once I subscribe, I get my emails, and it just keeps it all in one thread that I can just just keep track of the conversation. So that's what I do, and it really works well for me.
This might be silly, but could you link that to the top, Jenny, so people can subscribe? So
so you have to have a GitHub, by the way. So
that's okay, right?
GitHub account, just so people know, right? And I do the exact thing Jenny does, except with the forum, right? So I go to the forum has a CIP as a topic, and I have my notification turned on for that. So those are two good options.
Maybe
yes.
Lido can make a video on how to do that, and you could do it with Elsa.
Maybe we'll make a post and add all that stuff through the coffee cup account and put all the links in there. Make it a little more, educational, because that way we can add, because a forum is a great place to see like conversations. And you could also, I mean, I know people don't realize the Stack Exchange exists, but IOG people love the Stack Exchange. So if you want to like see what's happening on their end with their communication, the Stack Exchange is a great place to go to. But for the CIPs, I personally just follow GitHub because it's, I read through that. But the forum is a great place. So both of them should be on your list.
100%. And it sort of depends on how you want to participate, right? If you just want to keep a tab on things and like know what's coming, it's those kinds of things. GitHub is great. You get less noise. You get it when it's like past the ideation phase, right? I think there's different stages CIP goes through. If you do the forum version, you get every idea that somebody has, even if it doesn't go anywhere, right? You get the I think someone even puts out a weekly recap of what's happening in CIP world. So you get all that other stuff.
You see, if I had the coffee, like the little bubble on the bottom, that's where I will put the links right now. It will be all easy. I really need that bubble. Can somebody tell us how we get that bubble back? Is it because we don't have enough followers? What is it, guys? We need that bubble back.
I don't know.
You mean where the plus is at now in the bottom right?
Yeah, man. Like we need our bubble.
Where
we don't
is it?
have
Well, Elon did say he's gonna try a lot of dumb shit over the next few months. So maybe one of the dumb shit will be bringing the bubble back to everybody.
The
not
bubble
just...
is back, but I think there's got to be something that gives it to you, either how many hours of hosting you have, or how many followers. It's either one or the other, because I know some people have it, some people don't.
Well,
I don't know.
The bubble was where you could comment on the space, right? On the tweet of the
Oh,
space.
you don't have it either? Is it gone for
No.
everyone?
Well, what happens is, I think if you tweet out the space when you start it, then you have the bubble. If you don't, then you have the plus.
No way. Don't tell me it's as simple as that. Big Joe has to come here more often to like give us wisdom, man.
No, we've tweeted out the space before when we started. It can be that. Okay, we'll test this on Monday. I'm pretty sure especially this week, we've scheduled the spaces, we've tweeted them out. So I don't know, Big Joe, but gotta try something, right? Well, on that note, this is the first time we're at the top of the show end, and we're not deep into some. Oh, Jarhead is about to ruin it. We're not deep into some conversation.
Jarhead's about to ruin it. Hold on, don't rug us yet, because I'm gonna post this link real quick. So let's give him a couple minutes while Jarhead comes and chats with us.
And Babowski too. It's like everybody's coming up. As soon as I say I'm going to end the space. What's up, Jarhead?
I just want to say, I heard Tia Jenny made it to the big time. She's getting interviewed today by some cool dudes. Just wanted to say that.
Oh yes, that's true. That's today. Yes.
Wait. By the YouTube folks, what's CNT News? Who's interviewing you?
Just
no bigger time than
Jarhead.
that.
Yep,
bigger than that.
Big time, way big time.
Oh man. Well, I'm gonna be looking forward to that. What's up, Babowski?
Hey, I just want to apologize to you as the host. I shouldn't have jumped the line there when asking a question to JPG. You're the big bro, so sorry about that. It was no disrespect. I'm just in bad form today. And I did also want to ask you if you have any insights on this new, I'll call it a Twitter profile. It's called Consens. If you have, maybe we could talk offline since you're in the space, but it's just something that popped on my radar yesterday.
Sheesh. Well, no worries. I guess that's my karma coming back at me for interrupting people all the time. But no, I don't know much about this consent stuff. I should check it out.
Okay, I want
This
to
is
like
the
just
first.
point out that I put that link for the CIPs, the Cardano Foundation CIPs, link to GitHub, so you can go in there and follow your favorite CIPs.
What's GitHub again? It's like a Facebook for like developers and coders, or what?
Yes.
Yeah. It's like OnlyFans, but for developers and coders.
Yeah. You should see Riley on there. I think last time he was bragging about having 50 plus repositories. Repositories are like scenes. You know how OnlyFans had these? Is that what it's called? Is it like scene or whatever?
Wait,
Right.
You
Lido.
know what
I
it's
don't know if
called.
this is the right way to be describing this. I think that a repository is like a project, right, or a living collection of files. And we have a lot of repositories in ADAO and in Summon. Summon has closed source repositories right now and some open source ones. ADAOs are almost all open source with a very small number of closed source ones.
The thing I was trying to figure out, Riley. So when an OnlyFan is doing a new thing, what is that called? Is that a collection? When they're like, oh, we're gonna do a thing tonight.
If it's Elsa Jean, then I guess it might be a collection.
Jaya, you know what I'm talking about. What is it called?
I
Can you
actually
confirm
don't.
this?
I mean, repository, it works both ways, so that was the connection.
Oh man.
You know, for what it's worth, Elsa Jean definitely became a home name, right?
I don't know. I'm still going with Cahill, but sure.
Cahill's freaking awesome, man. I love that girl. She came to Rare Bloom and she's like awesome. I love Kay. She's real.
Yeah. So that's my household name for me. Although my
Yeah, I like
computer.
the team. Team Cahill, Team Elsa Jean. All right.
I want to
let's
just
go.
I want to say something before you, Raga, since I tried to say this earlier. I see Rodrigo's here. Rodrigo, what I don't know much about him, but I do know that Alessandro put out a little challenge out there just to invite anybody in the community that wanted to build a little portal for us Berry Matrix holders to be able to update our metadata. The description and metadata, kind of like to showcase the things that you can do with CIP68. And he's the one that built it, and he built a little space for us to go in there and connect our wallet and change the metadata on our berry. So shout out to you, Rodrigo. Thanks for that.
Thank you, Rodrigo Molina. I like your name too. It's a beautiful name, Rodrigo Molina.
Shout out to Rodrigo Molina and the beautiful wall garden of the Spade Spots. If you have one of these, get into the garden, enjoy it. You've earned it. Yeah. I had a random thing to end the space on today. That's totally.
It's Friday, and again, shout out to all our veterans on Veterans Day.
I'm a veterano of the streets.
Okay.
Jarhead,
Big
right
Joe.
here, closing it for us.
Jarhead, close us out. What are we going out with? What's the word of the weekend?
Man, it's busy. It's busy, man. Today, got an interview with Cardano Proxies coming up, talking about veterans. There's several of us actually, and then we got the interview with Tia Jenny later on at Characteristic Space. Me and Clay Lips, and then tomorrow, I think at 2 p.m. Eastern, Division 22 Twitter Space is going to be holding an auction. So I'm collecting NFTs right now. I have a donation wallet. Everything's going to be auctioned, then donated to the Warrior Foundation, Helmets to Hard Hats, and United States Veterans Organization. So however much or however little it is, it's all going to go towards them. By the way, facilitated through NFT Rescue Foundation, which is Cardano's own 501(c). So yeah, that's what's happening, man.
Hell yeah. And if
Super
you guys
cool.
Yeah, if you guys ever want to meet the real Jarhead, we have a section on the Stoners Club, the Cardano Stoners Club, called Jarhead After Dark. That's when he's drunk and high, and you get to meet the real him. So happy Veterans Day, Jarhead.
If you ever see Jarhead on Jarhead After Dark and the Gold Rush in that space together, you want to be in there because it gets really, really wild. On that note, remember, it is not moist, it's fluffy. Have a good weekend.